we're one of several offices that really kind of put together work study, but we tend to be the face of it to the students, helping you find those opportunities, apply for those opportunities, and work through the paperwork that's necessary to be able to obtain the opportunities. And that's what we're going to really talk about today to get those kinds of things going. So I'm going to start off by sharing my screen. And let me get to present. And let me know if you can see the navigating work study page.
We can.
You can. Okay, great. Thank you very much. All right, so we're going to get this going. So the first thing is, what is work study here at Catholic? And basically, just to understand it, it's a federal program run through the Department of Education. And it is set up to allow students to help them not only pay for college, earn some money, but also so that they can learn office skills, work skills, build up their, and expand their opportunities in that respect. So it's a really good learning experience as well as an opportunity to gain some money towards paying for school or whatever else that you need. A work study student is an employee of the university. So there will be some requirements and some things that you'll have to do in order to get approved to be able to do the position. So there will be some paperwork that's involved so that you can get paid. There'll be some tax forms and things to fill out. We'll get into those in a little bit. Just make sure, by the way, everyone's on mute so that it's easier to go through, and we'll do questions at the end on this one. So first thing that's going to happen is this. We've changed our process. Last year and all the years prior, there was a lot of face-to-face, an actual piece of paper that went back and forth started with you or you got from us, and then you would fill out your top part, and then you bring it to your supervisor, they'd fill out a piece, and then you bring it back to here, and it went all different places. We're turning that to an online form. It's basically called the authorization form, and it really takes you through the process and it tracks. Not only did you say, yes, you still want to participate, but also gives the opportunity for the supervisor to say they want to hire you, and then we know to send you tax forms and all that fun stuff. In this case, what's going to happen is we know all the students who have been offered work study and have accepted it. We're going to be emailing those students, emailing you next week, early next week. It'll be an email invitation to start completing this form. So this authorization form, all it is for you is about 6 or 7 questions: your name, your ID, date of birth, address, things like that. By hitting submit and sending it back to us, that is now the equivalent of you coming to our office, asking for the form, and us giving it to you. And the reason for that is there's a limit on when that exchange can happen. So when you hit submit, when we send you the email and you hit submit, that's telling us that you're saying, I'm going to be part of this process this semester. And we want you to do that before September 4th of this year. So we're going to get this email out to you at the beginning of next week. Take the minute and a half it does to finish it up and hit submit. Right away, that lets us know that you're going to be participating. Because what happens is after September 4th, if you've had this email for a little bit and have not submitted it back to us, we're taking it as you're not looking to participate this year, and we have a wait list of a number of students who want to get into work study, and this gives us a chance then to get to that wait list and start offering them options. Now, there will be an option, and we'll talk about it a little bit later, that if you wanted to not work this fall, but maybe in the spring and defer it, there's going to be an option for it. But the biggest thing to remember, just still fill out the form now before September 4th and hit submit. We'll get into it in a little bit of what you do after that if you want to defer for a semester. But once you go ahead and hit submit, take a look, and you can start to look at some of the opportunities that are out there, and we'll be using the system Handshake. That's where our job and internship hosting system is, and I'll show you how to get into that in a little bit as well. But that's where they're all listed. So as I mentioned, we're just one office that goes through and helps kind of process and track work study and what's going on. Things really do kick off, and you've already done this if you filled out saying that you want work study when you were filling out your financial aid forms. the Office of Student Financial Assistance, but not only do they get you into the process, they also can make adjustments if later on there's some question about, hey, I've earned a lot of my money and I might have the potential to earn more. They're an office you're going to ask, can I get my award raised? We'll talk again about that a little more in more detail. Our office is the face of it. We try to show you the product, show you the opportunities, get you through the process of paperwork, and get you into a position. Payroll, obviously, you're going to be doing payrolls as supervisors, so you're going to have a supervisor in your office who's going to make sure that you're filling out your timesheets so it can go to payroll so you can get your money that's been sent to you. And your supervisors are going to not only hire, but train and track your progress and your time there. And then you as the student, the responsibility there of making sure that you apply, get your paperwork done on time, and then obviously do your best job. So finding a job and who hires. There's a lot of different departments on campus that hire, changes each year based on need. So there's different offices and departments that may offer to say, I only need one person, or they may need 30 people. So we'll talk about some opportunities at the end of this. Jumpstart and DC Reads, who hire multiple people. The library hires multiple people, things like that. But yes, there's academic units, some of the labs, some of the offices. There's larger units, like I said, athletics or university libraries that might run on different hours than just 9 to 5. Campus ministry, I already mentioned DC Reads and Jumpstart, and we'll talk about those a little bit. And then administrative units, things like that help the university go. Enrollment management, technology services definitely need students to be able to help keep labs up to date and computers and things like that going and so on. So there's a wide variety of opportunities, and the majority of them get posted right now, but as we get them, even if it's halfway through the year, we'll put it up on Handshake so that you can still apply for it if you want to. So in finding a job, first thing is complete that first portion of the authorization form. So when we send you that email next week, be sure to just take a minute, fill it out, hit submit. That secures your space. Once that happens, start going through Handshake to start to look at the opportunities. And if you go to our website, Center for Academic Career Success, that's success.catholic.edu. I think it's at the top of the chat or near the top. You're going to be able to access Handshake, information on work study, as well as, since the Center for Academic Career Success is also, it's career and academics, if you ever want to make an appointment with your advisor, which many of you have worked with already just to register for classes, but say you wanted to work on your resume that you're going to use to submit for these positions, they can help you work. You can set up an appointment and they can help you work on your resume. Again, I'll show you all that at the end of this presentation. So let's say you found a position and you submit your resume through Handshake. What's going to happen is supervisors, they're going to get that, and they're starting to notify students that they're interested in. They'll reach out to you through your email and CUA email, and they'll let you know that they have an interest. They want to set up an interview. It's just going to be a virtual interview using Google Hangouts or Zoom or whatever they're using. But they'll reach out to you, find the right platform, and then start the process for interviewing. If they select you, the supervisor then notifies our office and lets us know they want to hire you, and we're going to send you the next set of paperwork that needs to be done, those tax forms, direct deposit forms, and so on. No matter what, you're not going to be able to start work until after not only this paperwork is done, but you have to wait for an email from our office that says, and we send it to the student and the supervisor at the same time, that you can now begin work. All right, you have to wait for that email because we're the ones who kind of dot the I's and cross the T's and make sure that everything's in place, all the departments have the right documentation, and that everything's going to run smoothly after this. So you could just focus on learning your position and go from there. But that email, and we'll probably reference this a couple more times during today, but you have to wait for that email. The paperwork, there's a number of things to do. So let's say you get hired, we get notified, we'll send you what paperwork needs to come out and get taken care of. So The first we already talked about, federal work study authorization form. That was that top part. Took a minute to fill out. You hit submit. That comes next week. Now you're going to be offered a position. There's one form called the I-9 form, which is actually being done more through human resources. And we'll give you information on how to handle it, but it does require that you have an original document of certain types, whether it be a passport, social security card, or a driver's license, student ID, whatever, a birth certificate. There's a list of certain documents on the I-9 form, and it'll be in there what you can use, but it has to be original. It can't be a scanned copy. It can't be a picture of it. And you're going to have to actually show this to someone in HR. So there is a physical piece to this process of bringing it over. If you have a copy or a scanned copy and show it to them, they're going to turn you away. So this is something to really be aware of, that it's definitely going to have to be that way. So we will be able to, like I said, give you more information on what documents will count, but that is one of the pieces of the process. The second thing is we will send you the other forms, whether there's a tax form or a state tax form, a direct deposit form. And those you can actually fill out electronically and send back. We'll be able to get those to the different departments. Scanned copies are okay. We can see those things, and that's been allowed. So you won't have to go anywhere in person on those. But you will need to probably talk to your parents, especially like the W-4, on how to fill it out. We don't give advice on that piece. We're not allowed to, because it's about you and your family and who claims you as a dependent or not. We don't know that. So you're going to have to talk to your parents about filling that out. So just remember to keep them in the loop there. If there's a training module or confidentiality agreement that the office requires, your supervisor will send that to you. Some students work in the Dean of Students office, and you're going to be making appointments for students and coming in and out. So just like any other employee, you would have gone through the confidentiality agreement. There's videos on FERPA and keeping everything secure. So you'll go through the same process that any of the employees would go through. And then if any of you are under 18 at the time you want to work, there is going to be a work permit process. There's paperwork to fill out for that so that you could work at 17 or under. And again, when you fill out the forms, we'll see your date of birth. And when we see you're getting hired, we'll check the dates and make sure, if you're in need of some of this extra form, we'll make sure that you get the information of where that form is and where to go and how to fill that out. And again, like I said, you can't start till you get that final email saying you can begin work, and that will come from our office again. So what's the work schedule look like? Typically 8 to 12 hours a week. You arrange all of this with your supervisor. Things can be flexible. We want you to take your academics seriously. Academics come first. So obviously, from one semester to the next, when your classes change, it's probably going to change your work schedule a little bit. Your supervisors know this and want to work with you. So be upfront with them. It's anywhere between 2 and 4 hours for 2 to 4 days per week, 2 to 5 hours a shift. That's not set in stone. Again, you can work that out with your supervisor. Sometimes evening hours, things like athletics and library, which go past 5 o'clock, will offer hours again there. And then the first day, employees can work. We have the quarantine in place. So September 8th is the first day. But please remember that if the process is going on and you were getting paperwork done on the 8th, 9th, and it's not complete, you can't start on the 8th. You still have to wait for that email from us saying all the paperwork is processed and so on. So after today, let's say you get your email to start the authorization process, and you fill it out, you found a job, and all in the same day they want to hire you and you're ready to go with your paperwork, you can still get a lot of this stuff done beforehand, but many of you will be starting after the 8th. Just remember, we still have to process all that paperwork first, and you have to wait for that email. Getting paid, that's important. So a lot of times people are finding out what can they earn, what's going on. The pay range starts at $10 an hour for our general positions, community service positions, but other positions pay more. We'll show you some examples of that in a little bit. The money goes directly to you. So you fill out a direct deposit form, and that money, that says where it's going to go. So if it goes into your bank account and you use it on pizza, then it's used on pizza. It doesn't take it off the bill for the university automatically. You're getting paid just like a regular paycheck. So discuss with your parents where you want this money to go, how you want it to be used. I think that's one of the things that we get a lot of questions on later on is, hey, how come this isn't coming off the bill right away? It's because it doesn't do that. If you have questions, again, we'll be able to talk about that at the end of here, but you can always send them to success@catholic.edu. How often do you get paid? You get paid twice a month, on the 10th and the 25th of each month. And how do you get paid? Direct deposit, but it's also dependent on you filling out your paperwork every day you come into the office or when you work, making sure that your supervisor has shown you, we've trained supervisors to reach out and show you this, but signing in, signing out. People forget to do that sometimes, and then that can affect your paycheck. We want to make sure that you're getting paid on time for the right amount. So just be sure that you're doing the paperwork as is needed. And again, the money goes directly to you or wherever you say the direct deposit goes. Now, this next page, freshmen, don't worry about it. Okay, there's a special thing where DC likes to claim people as a resident, and if it's for those who are not freshmen who have worked last year, there's going to be some extra forms to fill out in terms of, because DC starts to claim you as a resident after living here for 183 days out of the year, and if you worked last semester, and now it can do that. I think with people going home and COVID and some things, I think there's a lot less people falling into this category. But if you did work last year and you're on this call and you have a question, just reach out to us at CACS and we can touch base and make sure we're working with you on these things. And if we notice certain information that you've worked last year, we'll be reaching out to you as well to make sure things happen. But we'd be able to help you out in that. Some frequently asked questions. What if I don't complete that top portion of the authorization form that comes next week? If you don't do it by September 4th, they're going to cancel the award. And then we're going to be able to move that down to the other students who are on the wait list. So be sure that you want to do it. Or be sure that you fill it out so you can do it. Now, what people will ask, and again, is what if you want to wait until second semester? That's perfectly fine. Accept the award, fill out the top part, but then you want to reach out to Sophia over in Student Financial Assistance. She's the one you want to tell and say, I don't want to use it until next semester. This gives her a heads up because most of the awards are about $2,000 awards, and you can't really earn the full amount in one semester. Students are limited to work 19 hours a week. They can't work more than that. And so it becomes very difficult to be able to earn the full 2,000 in one semester. So that means they've got money that they could offer to someone else, and they want to know that in advance. So this helps out in getting some of this money to the people on the wait list and so on. But it's key that you tell Sophia right away so she knows what's going on and we can plan from there. But if you ever have questions, you want to reach out to her about that. You can change jobs. That's not a problem. Our positions, like I said, as long as we have an open position, we're going to put it up on Handshake. And you can do that. But we really do want to make sure that you're keeping everyone in the loop. So you do need to not only let your supervisor know that you are leaving, because they have to prepare for that, but you also are going to let our office know so that we can get the paperwork going so that there's a transfer of all your documentation that you've already filled out. You don't have to redo it all. And we can get it over to the new supervisor. HR is aware of it, and that all that background stuff can take place. So you definitely want to keep your supervisors on both end and our office involved on that. Again, if you're not 18, there's a work authorization form to fill out that's in addition, and we'll be able to make sure that you get that. And I'll show you a section where you can see some information on that in a second. And what if you don't have the original documents to complete your I-9 when you walk in? They're going to turn you away and say, go get those documents. It's an absolute must. They have to be original. They have to be the real document. They have to be in person. And you won't be able to be hired or start work until that's done. So this is something that is a definite one that the government makes us do. Oh, before I go into this, I just wanted to see, is Caitlin on the call from Jumpstart? Jess or anybody if you don't see them, or Caitlin if you can unmute if you're there. Okay, so I'll start with this one real quick. I mentioned before, there's a couple of programs that are on here that work in the community and work for the community and are really good programs and strong, and they hire a lot of our students. So these are, you know, they can hire up to 50, 60 people at a time, these next two, depending on the need and what's going on. But Jumpstart definitely works with the younger students in DC area, education, emotion. They work on a lot of different topics and assist these students. And there's ways that you're able to do that being on campus here, even during COVID, and they have a process for this. But if you're interested, they are someone who offers 10 to 14 hours a week. Their pay rate is 10 an hour, but if you do 300 hours, you can actually earn an AmeriCorps sort of like grant extra money, basically, of another $1,252. So it's a good one for money, actually, but it's a great one for getting in touch and dealing with students and building up an experience, especially if you have education or want to work with that student population and so on. So Jumpstart is a very good program. Caitlin Haney is the person who's coordinating it. We have that connection that's on Handshake, but also you can reach out to haneyc@cua.edu to get more information from her directly, just to say, I'm interested, what can I do? So Jumpstart is one of our programs. I'm gonna check to see if M. Jolie is on the call. Nope, I think not. Okay, so M. Jolie Mendoza is over in campus ministry, our director of campus ministry. She also and her people run DC Reads, which also works with schools in the community with tutoring. They offer $12 an hour. And again, it's another opportunity to get in front and work with kids who are in the Brooklyn community, close to our school. And again, during COVID times, they have a process of being able to work with the students from there. But be aware, these two programs may have additional paperwork to do because the schools require that kind of paperwork, whether it be a background check, fingerprinting, you know, to make sure that they're connecting students with people who are reliable. And the supervisors here at these programs, Caitlin and M. Jolie, definitely can walk you through this process. So what I'm gonna do now is let's get out of here and let's go. Yep, that's my screen and my family. Sorry about that. Let's go here. Okay. So I meant to show you a little bit about where you can get some of the follow-up on some of the stuff. This information, you're gonna get a follow-up form. When we send out the authorization form next week, we're also gonna send you reminders of these links, how to be able to go through a job, how to make an appointment with your advisor and so on. That'll be in here. But just to give you a glimpse, if you just come to success.catholic.edu, which is Center for Academic and Career Success, and again, many of you have already been in touch with your advisor to help you with registration. That's who you're reaching out to. They do both academics and career. And if you wanted to work on your resume, make an appointment. Follow the instructions here. You'll get on that system to make an appointment, and you can let them know that you want to get your resume ready for to apply for work study positions. In addition, you'll be able to, if you scroll down past our video, not only will you see all the different things we're doing, but you have access to Handshake. And in Handshake, you just log in like a regular student computer. And it'll ask you for your profile first, what jobs and interests you have and so on. And once you do that, it actually starts to pre-populate this page. So things get funneled to you. But in terms of finding work study, non-work study positions, on-campus positions, just click jobs. And then you click on campus. And now you can start to see, you know, like here, athletics has a position, it's on-campus work study. If it was on-campus non-work study, it would say that right here. So pay attention to see if it's work study or non-work study. Now, a quick note on that. You cannot have two work study jobs at the same time, but you can have a work study and a non-work study job at the same time. The only caveat to that is, out of both jobs, you can't work more than 19 hours total. So if you're going to have a work study and a non-work study job, you need to let your supervisors know so that they can make sure you're not going over the 19-hour mark total. And mainly part of that is, again, we're making sure you're here to do your academics, that you have time to focus on it, that you're not getting pulled in different directions from your supervisors or feeling that stress or anything like that. And supervisors want to work with you and know academics come first. But once you're in here, if you want to apply to a position, go ahead. You can upload your resume and you hit submit, and it goes to the supervisor in that office. And they'll email you again through your Cardinal email account and let you know, if they're interested in you, they'll set up a virtual interview. Now, some people have asked, how many should you apply to? You can apply to multiple positions. That's not a problem. The big thing is that when you accept a position, if you've sent an application to a department, reach back out to the department and let them know that you've already accepted a position. Thank you very much for your time, but wanted to give you that information so you can focus on the other candidates. It does help things move faster, and it gives your other students, your peers, an opportunity to take those positions as well. So I'm going to get out of this one and just show you one last thing, and then we'll get to questions. Again, on this page, back down, work study. There's still a process here that talks to you about, again, how to use Handshake. There's a little video on the process and doing it. It talks about the federal work study programs. It even has information on work permits for those students who are under 18. We'll keep working with you one-on-one as you go through each of the steps, but if you wanted to read more about it on your own, you're welcome to come to this page. Always feel free to reach out to our office with any questions. And I don't expect everyone to remember everything, but like I said, we'll pick it up at any time and answer your questions. Just call us. This office here, Center for Academic and Career Success, is a great spot no matter what your questions are. If you don't know where to go, talking to your advisor, just saying, I'm not sure if you're the right person, but where do I go for? We love that. We're happy to help you find the right person for that opportunity here at the university. And we'll let you know, hey, we're the expert on this. No, we're not the expert on this. Here's the person you need to go to. So this is just a good spot for all of these kinds of things. So let me do this. I'm going to stop sharing. And I'm going to ask, some new questions may have come in the chat, so I'll ask for some help from the OAs. If they could read me some of these questions, and we'll go from there.
So yeah, the first one that came in, will the authorization form be sent to the entire student body?
No. Okay, so this is work study that we're doing right now. Students applied for work study over the summer in their financial aid forms, and then the student financial assistants looked through need, based on that need, offered work study, and they accepted it. There's a group of students who have accepted it. Those students are going to get this authorization form and begin the process. For students who are hearing about it and are interested and say, am I eligible? Could I be part of this? You do want to reach out to student financial assistants now and let them know that you have an interest and that you'd like to be considered. If they say yes, that you're eligible and can get you on the wait list, they'll create an authorization form, let us know, and then at that point, we'll send you an individual form. So you kind of have to go through the gateway of student financial assistance if you haven't done so already to see if you're eligible.
And the second question is, can I apply for work study before September 4th?
You can go through and get your application in now. I think the postings are up now. You can send some information in. The biggest thing is this. You don't get ahead. Don't forget to fill out that form, that top part of the form that's coming next week, because what will happen is once we see all those people who have accepted it before September 4th, okay, we create a list for the supervisors to see. Here are students who have accepted it, pass back their form, they're eligible to be hired. If you're not on that list, they may not pick you for an interview. So you want to make sure that even if you're applying now and sending your information in now, not a problem. The form comes in on, say, Monday or Tuesday of next week, and you fill it out, keep going, everything's fine. But if you go to an interview or they start to ask you, say, I'm interested in you, and you haven't filled it out yet, it may stop the process there. So just remember that you got to fill that piece out but absolutely you could send in your information today if you wanted to. What else? Any other? Okay, that's it on the chat, I think.
Yep.
I answered the good question from last session too. In terms of pay, if I was offered $2,000 in work study, does that mean one's pay cannot exceed the $2,000?
Okay, so everything's set up predicated on, hey, the Department of Ed gave us a certain amount of money to give to students. And we went through the first draft of these students are eligible. We gave out all the money. And then people are telling us, oh, I'm not going to use it till next semester, or no, they didn't fill out the top part of the form by September 4th. We start seeing that there's extra money in there. So it happens that there's always adjustments. So what I would say is this, think of your own situation. You're not going to be able to up it right now, saying I want it to be $3,000 today. It has to be that you're getting close to earning your whole award. So you'll see your earnings as you go. And once you get within $200, $300 of earning your full amount, it's up to the student to go to student financial assistance and say, I'm getting close to earning my award. I talked with my supervisor. I'm going to be able to earn more because there's like 5 weeks left of school and they have work for me. Can I get my award raised another $500 or whatever it might be? That kicks in a process where student financial assistants reach out to your supervisor, ensures that that's the case and that's going on and that they'll support it. And if you're eligible and they have the money still there, then they can go ahead and authorize it. But they won't know until that time, and they won't start processing that request until you get close to earning your full amount. So it's up to the student as you get close. So you've earned $1,600, I would suggest reaching out to the student financial assistance, $1,800, something like that. And if you think you have time and you've talked with your supervisor, they say they have the work for you, go to financial assistance then and tell them that, you know, I want to be considered for an increase in my award. What else? Again, I mean, there's a lot going on today. You are totally seeing so many presentations. You're doing so many different things today. When in doubt, just ask. Your OAs are great. They know exactly where to send you. Our office is happy to help you out. Again, you could just contact us with just a couple of the questions and we'll be happy to kind of get the process going and forward to you. But for those of you who have already accepted your work study, be on the lookout for that email next week, and we'll go from there. All right, well, thank you very much. Take care. And enjoy. Go to the next meetings, please. Don't stop.